Matthew 13 this morning, verses 1 through 9, and then verses 18 through 23. Hear now the word of the Lord from the New Revised Standard Version of God's holy and precious word. That same day Jesus went out of the house and sat beside the sea. Such great crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat there while the whole crowd stood on the beach. And he told them many things in parables, saying, Listen, a sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some seed fell on the path, and the birds came and ate them up. Other seed fell on rocky ground, where they did not have much soil, and they sprang up quickly, since they had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched. And since they had no root, they withered away. Other seeds fell among the thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked them. Other seeds fell on good soil and brought forth good grain, some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. Let anyone who has ears listen. Now verse 18. Hear then the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it, the evil one comes and snatches it away. What is sown in the heart, this is what was sown on the path. As for that was sown on rocky ground, this is the one who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Yet such a person has no root, but endures only for a while. And when trouble or persecution arises on account of the word, that person immediately falls away. As for what was sown among the thorns, this is the one who hears the word, but the cares of the world and the lure of wealth chokes the word, and it yields nothing. But as for what was sown on good soil, this is the one who hears the word, understands it, who indeed bears fruit and yields, in one case 100-fold, in another 60, and in another 30. This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thank you, God.
Oh Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of all of our hearts be acceptable only in your sight, O Lord, our strength and redeemer. The people of God said, Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Amen. I want to talk with us just briefly this morning, church folk, seeds, and the word. All right. Church folks, seeds, and the word. Church folks, seeds, and the word. This text really starts in chapter 12 because it already had been a busy Sabbath day for Jesus. Jesus started the day by breaking the law. That's right. In order to understand this parable in 13, we got to go to 12 and take a look at Jesus' day up until this point. It started when he and the disciples were walking in the grain fields, and because they became hungry, they started to pick the grain to eat. Pharisees and scribes, church folk, charged them with breaking the law on the Sabbath by technically working on the Sabbath. But Jesus was not done, because after the grain picking incident, Jesus went into the synagogue and healed a man with a withered hand as well. All right. What Jesus was trying to tell them was that first, the Son of Man, or the Son of humanity, is Lord of the Sabbath. And that Sabbath was made for humans and not humans for the Sabbath. But second, the compassion supersedes legalistic interpretations of the law. In other words, what you hear and how you interpret tells a lot about who you are and what you would do. For at the same time, when Jesus was healing the man on the Sabbath with the withered hand, instead of the Pharisees and scribes celebrating the man's healing, instead of celebrating the man being made well, instead of being happy for the man and blessing God that a healing and a miracle was taking place, the Bible records that they conspired against Jesus. And they wanted to destroy him. And that's a reminder, G-Lot, that everybody won't be happy with your blessing. I'm already preaching. Everybody won't be happy with your healing and your deliverance. If you read the text in chapter 12, nowhere do they congratulate the man Jesus. So much so that they began to conspire and figure out ways to destroy him.
Amen.
And we must remember that these were not hoodlums, Reverend Graham. These were not gangsters. These were not them folk out there.
Right.
These were the good church folk.
All right.
You would have thought that church folk would have jumped on the bandwagon by then. You would have thought that church folk would have been celebrating with the man and began to listen a little bit more to Jesus. You would have thought that church folk would have brought others to Jesus. Hey, you've been in the healing business. I got a cousin twice removed that needs some healing. Telling him that I know a man that can solve your problem. You would have thought that church folk would have been disciples by then. But the only response to the miracle of the man's blessing was they want to get rid of Jesus. Oh, but the church folk wasn't through now. No. That would have been bad enough. But church folk being church folk, they went through when some people who caught the message, right? And then they brought a man with a demon to Jesus. Church folk really got upset. For you, they began to wonder if this was really the son of David that they've been waiting on for years. In other words, people began to discern that this is this the long-awaited Messiah. But then the church folk took over and said, no, the reason why this man was here because Jesus had some sort of deal with Beelzebub, the devil. They said it's only Beelzebub, the ruler of the demons, that this fella cast out demons. Jesus had to remind them by saying, dude, that's in the original Greek. And then in the other Greek version, it's man. You know, Jesus came by way of North Memphis. Man. And why was Satan cast out Satan? Come on, man. In other words, why was Satan cast himself out of a man that was possessed? And that's what happens to church folks sometimes. I'm sorry. They start talking and trying to trap and blame others that eventually they start to make no sense at all. It's church folk that would say, well, if you're broke, that means that God is not blessing you. It's church folk that declare God must be angry for you for allowing those things to happen in your life. It's church folk who say you can't wear makeup and your dress must be down to your ankles and you can't wear pants in church and women can't preach. It's church folk who say that hip-hop is demonic and God can't bless it because it's from the devil, therefore it's evil. It's church folk that's trying to take your Medicaid and your health insurance. Church folk giving the largest tax cut to the 1% and creating the largest transfer of wealth in this country. It's church folk, people who claim to be Christian, who can watch a tape of a police officer shooting a black person in cold blood and still come back with a not guilty verdict. No, it's church folk.
All right. All right.
They still believe that some of us are still inferior. I stopped by to tell somebody that just because somebody is up in church does not mean that the church is up in me. I need to say that again. Just because some of your co-workers go to church and can quote a scripture or two doesn't make it, does not mean that they have the church inside of them.
All right.
All right, Johnson. Go ahead.
Just because a politician comes and tell you that God calls him to run, or call her to do certain things, you better watch. You better look at the spirit. Jesus had a warning for them folk. When they were talking about you casting out demons by Beelzebub, he said you got to be careful now. See, your foolish talk, you're getting close to this unpardonable sin against the Holy Spirit. Come on. And when you start working against what God is doing, The old saying, your arms are too short to box, but God doesn't even begin to cover.
All right.
But Jesus is saying, listen, if you deny the Holy Spirit, that means that you cannot accept the power of the Holy Spirit to even ask for forgiveness of your own sins. And sometimes, some of them folk don't even believe they sin at all. You keep reading 12. You see, after some more teachings that focus on watching what you say, the non-church folk assigned, you know, after all of that, they say, okay, Jesus, give us a sign. Prove to us who you say you are. I done just healed the man with the withered hand, and I just done some stuff. Okay, there's no sign for you.
Yeah.
And can I do some parenthetical teaching?
Come on.
Teaching and preaching for a moment.
Come on.
Okay. See, when I get off the text, I got to step right over
Go
here.
ahead.
This means parenthetical. It's not in the text, man. This is free. Stop trying to impress folk that you don't even like. Listen, just because somebody is telling you, can you prove this to me? You need to stop doing that, because you can't prove anything to anybody that don't like you to begin with. After all of that, Jesus leaves the house and goes by the sea. Crowds followed him. They stood on the beach, as the NRSV said, waiting on what he would say next. However, after his run-ins with church folk, Jesus thought now was the time to tell the parable about a sower and some seed. Sower went out to sow, Jesus said. And as he sowed, some seeds fell on the path, birds came, ate them up. Other seeds fell on rocky ground where they didn't have much soil. They sprang up quickly, had no depth of soil. But when the sun rose, they were scorched. Since they had no root, they were withered away. Other seeds fell on the sun. You know the picture. Other seeds fell on good soil. Anyone with ears, listen. But the word apparently went over the heads of folk. Because even the disciples, you know, our favorite little group, our disciples, folk walked with Jesus, still didn't get it. They were like, knucklehead crew, right? You know, come here, why do you speak in parables? Why do you speak to them in other words, Jesus, you're not practicing public speaking one-on-one. In a way that the audience can understand you. Why do you speak in parables? Then Jesus answered the disciples by saying, the reason I speak in parables is that seeing they do not perceive, hearing they do not listen, nor do they understand. And maybe the reason why people act like church folk instead of disciples is because they see but do not perceive. They hear but do not listen, nor do they understand. But Jesus, what do you mean by this? How can I see but not perceive? How can I hear but not understand? Well, Jesus unlocks the parable by telling us that there are 4 groups of people that hear the message. As we examine these 4 types, Jesus, come on, reflect with me. See what type you are. First group of people are the ones who hear the word but do not understand it, thereby allowing the evil one to come and snatch what is sown away in their hearts. Now, this group of people are not really bad people, but they just don't understand what has been said, and before understanding can take place, the evil one comes and snatches away. Maybe the evil one knows that if that word gets really embedded in your spirit, right, they won't be able to come and snatch it away as quickly. So wait a minute, Jesus, are you telling me that when the word goes forth, the devil is right there hovering? Making sure that anybody who just don't understand it, because it's sown in the heart, but it's still easy to just snatch away. This is not bad, because I guess first, the seed is sown in the heart, and it can produce a crop. Anything in the heart can produce a crop. If the person could understand. And second, if left at the heart, understanding could happen. So that's why the evil one comes and take it away in the first place. So the question becomes, why do I not understand in the first place? Well, maybe you're hearing, but not listening. Maybe you're doing some other stuff, or distracted in some other way doing the service. Is this thing on? Maybe you're old school. You know, you ain't got no, you're not really good on the text messaging yet, and you ain't tweeting, and you're not Facebooking, you're not going live, but you still got them old school notes, and you can pass them back and forth. Maybe you're getting up, going outside, telling yourself that you're doing something very important, and you're not hearing the word. Walking around the church. Sometimes, Reverend Greg, I got to stop. I got to tell people, come on up and hear the word.
All right.
What are you doing? I'm just hanging. I don't know. Maybe you're in here, but something is on your mind that you're hearing, but not listening. So whatever is sown in your heart, had a good service, you feel good. Glad I was here. But you really don't understand it quite yet, because the enemy said, aha, give me that. You won't be needing this later on today. Can I test this out? Anybody gonna be truthful with me? You ever been to church and had a great time? By the time you get home, some food come to you, and you forget everything that you heard. Matter of fact, the preacher could have been talking about anger, and you just like, forget that. Can I raise my hand? But that's the first group. First group ain't it's just they don't understand quite yet, because the word hadn't been there long enough, because the enemy just come and take it away. But the second group are the people who hear the word and receive it with joy. Hallelujah. They're excited about what they heard. They're elated about the word and the word of God, and they spoke volume to them. Woo, the word of God in my life. Woo-hoo! I don't have any room, Sister Donna. And the word only endures for a while, and when trouble or persecution comes on the account of the word, that person just kind of falls away. Now these are the ones who after service, they promise gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. They're the ones who would tell the world that I'm gonna come and be a part of the ministry. I'm gonna get my act together. I'm gonna serve like never before. I'm gonna go get my act together. I'm gonna be stronger in the faith. I'm gonna get my act together. I'm gonna tithe. I'm gonna get my act together. I'm gonna serve. I'm gonna do all this stuff. Woo-hoo! They even start sending out emails and text messages to folks. You know, has God been good to you in your life? Won't you retweet this 3 times? I bet you won't be on Facebook. I bet you won't share, or you won't like this picture about Jesus and all the love. I bet you're ashamed of that. But when trouble comes, they cannot be found. Why? Because they don't have roots. They don't have any roots. Now, the trouble that Jesus is talking about on the account of the word. So the trouble that Jesus is talking about is when you stand in opposition to something that's against the word and against what it is that you're called to do. But in 2017, you don't have to get that deep. Sometimes we have a hangnail or just something real small, you know. My hair ain't dead, though. I can't go to church today. That's a lie, but I ain't got nothing to wear.
Okay.
As if you were going to dress up anyway. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Or some that are fed a steady diet of breakthrough religion. Get ready, get ready, get ready. High five your neighbor. You're next in line for a miracle. But when the job is gone, the house repossessed, sickness comes, or the relationship gets strained.
Come on now. Come on now.
They have no faith to hold them during a storm. Matter of fact, depending on where they're attending, their faith sometimes tell them it's their fault.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. You're right.
Because you don't have enough faith. And as I said earlier, the problem with persecution don't have to be real major.
Right.
When you don't have any roots, you don't have any commitment to start.
Yeah.
When the time you started something, and when you started it, you thought you were going to be in there for the long haul. But as time went on, like, 2 weeks later, a whole 14 days. Her appointment becomes a priority. The games become a priority. Relationships a priority. I don't feel good today. Not sick, not bedridden. I just don't feel good today. I just didn't feel like getting up, I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night. I couldn't get up this morning. Being a product of North Memphis, I haven't done a lot of farming or gardening in my life, but I do know this. We were out the other day, Lisa and I, trying to dig up one of those plants that we had planted a while ago. We're going to be planting some more stuff. We had to get it up from the root. Because if you don't get it up from the root, they tell me it can come grow back, right? Yeah, so I think Lisa and I lost about 5 or 6 pounds. Workout, that was a good workout. Plant gets its nourishment, I know botany, from its roots. Right? So the question becomes, where do we get our roots from? And when you're rooted, it's kind of hard to be uprooted.
That's right.
And you can. You can. You got a big strong wind come strong enough. You see big oak trees falling over. I mean, we're not saying that you can't. But it's going to take more than just a hangnail.
That's right.
More than just a bad day at the office. Well, I just had a bad day Monday. I can't make it to church this Sunday. I'm still reeling off my bad day Monday. No. How do you get strong roots? Where you get it by engaging the Word of God. If there's any other way that you can get it, please tell me. Maybe I've been doing it wrong for these last 15 years. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing. That's all that Romans, Romans 10. But there's another group of people. Got 2 people already. Y'all figuring out who you are yet? Okay. One that hears the word. Hallelujah. But the cares of the world and the lure of wealth chokes the word. And it yields nothing. These are people who hear the word, but the world gets in the way. All the stuff I have to do, all the stuff that needs to be done, all the stuff that can't happen because of me, all of the stuff that I gotta do. I would, Pastor, but I'm so busy. All the children I gotta take care of that I didn't give birth to. All of the things I gotta write. All of the things I gotta do. All of the jobs I'm supposed to be applying for. They hear the word, so they know what to do. They're not like the first group. They get it. And they're not like the other. They know the words. The words stayed with them. And they even produced some strong roots. But the cares of the world stops them from producing a harvest. Because somehow, thank you, Lord, somehow weeds come around and choke the word. Which reminds me, just because you can quote a scripture or two doesn't mean that you can stop tilling your own soul. Come on out, man. So if I were really preaching this thing, like for real, really, I ask, when the last time you tilled your own soul? When the last time you tilled your own garden? You've been so worried about other folks' gardens. When was the last time you looked in your own backyard? When was the last time your weeds needed to be cut? Because this becomes the most tragic among church folk. Because these are normally the gifted ones. The ones with the ability to know God and understand what God has for them in their life. These are the singers, the dancers, the orators, the artists, the people who can write, ones with the gifts of administration, of service, of help, especially on our finance team, ones who are dripping in Holy Ghost fluid. But because they can't shake off the cares of the world, can't get that schedule right on their job, or can't negotiate, can't do it, can't shake it, they are not being all that God has called them to be.
That's right.
Something else vying for their time always. And that's frustrating. Because not only do you hurt yourself, you hurt the body of Christ. When you don't share your little bit, here's the purpose, here's the strength, here's the point, here's your shout moment. You don't have to have but a little bit.
That's right.
But if you share all your little bit with the church and with the body of Christ, and everybody sharing their own little bit, what kind of church would we be? Just make you get ugly in the face thinking about all these gifts. If it was really used correctly. If everybody says that, hey, you know what? My church is going to come like up there at the top, and I'm going to navigate everything else around that. Or even better yet, you still don't like the churchy sound because you don't want to be a church folk. I get it. But what if my relationship with God is paramount? Because if I gave my heart to God, I wouldn't have to ask you to do anything for this church.
Amen.
It would just come every second. It would just be like, oh, Flo needs my, I got it. I got it. We need some more coffee. I got it. So I just throw that out there. And we kind of low. I was looking for some the other day and I ain't seeing a reserve. And I don't know, but you know, the next time y'all ever start, you don't mind, you know. And we drink any type around here, so you don't have to worry about a brand. So I just throw that in for free.
We got it.
So the relationship with God is paramount. Then there'll be different questions that you ask yourself. One of the questions would be, oh, okay, I got a job, I got to do this, got kids, we got to go over here, we got to take trips over there and stuff. What I need to, but I also got Bible study. So if I can't make Bible study this time, I'm going to do it the next time, or I'm going to make sure I come to church, or something like, I will be asking the question, what can I do to negotiate or to center my worship life around everything else I have to do. And I guarantee you this, if you do that, everything else that you got to do, you can do it because you are centered first in God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things. And that's the original Greek things, not things, will be given or added unto you. But then there are people, this fourth group, who hear the word, okay? And hallelujah, they bear fruit. And they don't bear any type of fruit that takes it 100, 60, 30 fold. Y'all will be shouting if you can get a 30% return on your money.
Yes.
Have $30 on every 100, or 300 on every 1,000, 3,000 on every 10,000. You know what I'm saying? Every month, you be like, and I don't know about you, church, but I want to bear some fruit. And I don't want to be like many church folk, sitting around hearing the word but not listening. And I don't want to be like some church folk, hearing the word and promising the world but yet not delivering. And I don't want to be like some church folk who hear the word and who are gifted, but because the cares of the world and the lure of wealth that they giftedness never produce any fruit. I want to be like a disciple, a true servant of the Lord Jesus, one who hears the word, understands the word, and produce a bumper crop. And you know what? I want to hang around folk who are producing bumper crops. I don't want to hang around some negative folk, always talking down about everybody else. I don't want to hang around the crying and whining folk, always blaming others for their misfortune. I don't want to hang around folk who are just sitting on their blessed assurances, complaining about the preachers and the teachers in the church, and church folk do that all the time. I don't want to hang around folk that want to hang around other folk that are always negative and always want to talk about who's under the circumstances. I want to be around some folk on top of the circumstances. I want to hang around bumper crop blessing folk. You want to know why? Because maybe I can glean some from them. If I start to listen and understand, maybe I can produce some on my own. Hallelujah. Glory to his name. If I listen and understand, I will bear fruit and yield a bumper crop. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory to his name. And I wanted to close right there.
All right.
But I was arrested. I couldn't close. I was about ready to close. I was going to close. I was at the computer. I said, this is closed right here. Let me go off this offering. Get that shout in and go down and eat a baked potato. In my shout, I was convicted of two things. One, as I read the text again, I began to wonder why the sower, who would have been sown by hand, by the way. Why didn't the sower in Jesus' parable just sow in the good soil in the first place?
Preacher, you ain't here.
Why waste all the good seed on the path where there was no soil? Why waste it on rocky soil? Why waste it on a soil full of weeds and thorns? Why didn't you just sow in the good seed? I mean the good soil in the first place. Then the Spirit reminded me that we can only ask that question if we believe that we have always been good souls. That since we are good souls, we cannot begin to understand the extravagance of the soul who just sows seeds everywhere. But I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that the sower threw a little seed my way. Even when I was on the path of life, laid out and unprotected from the elements, I'm so glad that the sower threw some seed my way. Even when I was hanging around some rocky soil and became dried up from the sun, no roots to nourish me. I'm so glad that the sower threw some seeds my way. Even when I was amongst the thorns and getting the life choked out of me. And if we would tell the truth, we haven't always been good souls. We haven't always listened. We haven't always understood. We haven't always stayed out of trouble. And we haven't always produced a bumper crop of blessings. But aren't you glad that the sower kept on sowing? Aren't you glad that when you were hard-headed, the sower kept on sowing? When nobody could tell you anything because you were grown, the sower kept on sowing. And when you were down and out and ready to check out of life, the sower kept on sowing. When other folk gave up on you, the sower kept on sowing. Aren't you glad that the sower kept throwing seeds your way? I know you don't have any roots. I know you're being choked out. I know you're about to give up. I know that you don't think you can make it. But the sower kept sowing. So I came to tell somebody here today that's hanging around the paths of life, that's hanging around the rocks of life, the ones hooked up with some thorns in your life. Some of you still got some thorns in your life. You need to get rid of them thorns, but I'm so glad that the sower keeps growing. Just hang on in there. Because the sower is still throwing seeds your way. And for us who think we good souls, you need to stop being mad at the extravagance of the soul. Because it wasn't that long ago. Maybe last year. Maybe last month. Maybe last week. Last night. You were in some messed up soil yourself. You were tore up from the floor up. You were being choked to death. You were being just dried up on the hot pavement, dried up. But the sower said, here's some seed. Just like an earthworm does. And the little worm try to roll over Rem Hill and try to find some good old soil to lay in. You got enough seed in you to get into some good soil.
Hallelujah.
And you start to produce a bumper crop. We just don't want to be church folk here, Jesus.
No, sir.
But disciples.
Yeah.
Producing a bumper crop. Some 30, some 60. And yet even some 100.
Hallelujah.